Ah, the Nile, our pride, our lifeblood, our history written in water. You see, in Egypt, the Nile isn't just a river, it's the reason we exist. It flows through our land like a blessing from the heavens, turning desert into paradise. Our ancestors built temples and pyramids along its banks, trusting its rhythm like a heartbeat. Even today, we gather by its edge to drink tea, tell stories, and watch the sun melt into its shimmering surface. It's more than geography, it's family. Ask any Egyptian and they'll tell you, the Nile doesn't just run through Egypt, it runs through our veins. Alexandria, our beloved city by the sea. We call it the Bride of the Mediterranean, and trust me, she wears that title well. Founded by Alexander the Great himself, this place has seen philosophers, poets, and queens like Cleopatra walk its shores. The breeze here carries stories from ancient times, and the sun sets over the corniche, pure magic. We have the Bibliotheca Alexandrina, a modern tribute to the greatest library the world ever knew, and the citadel of Qaitbay standing proud where the legendary lighthouse once guided ships. Alexandria isn't just history, it's soul, style, and a little bit of salt in the air. Let me paint the geography of the Nile for you like we see it. The river enters Egypt from the south, flowing northward like a blessing from Sudan, cutting through deserts and cities until it fans out into the lush Nile Delta before meeting the Mediterranean Sea. It's strange, isn't it? Most rivers flow south, but ours goes the other way, like it's marching proudly toward history. Along its path, it gives life to places like Aswan, Luxor, and Cairo, turning dry land into green fields and feeding millions. Without the Nile, Egypt would be just sand and silence. But with it, we have civilization, culture, and a river that refuses to follow anyone's rules but its own. We are approaching the site of the lighthouse of Alexandria, our Pharaohs, our ancient guardian of the sea. It once stood tall on the island of Pharaohs, guiding ships safely into our harbor with its mighty flame and polished mirrors. Built during the reign of Ptolemy II, it was one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, and we Egyptians were proud to call it ours. But time, my friend, is no gentle guest. Earthquakes came, one after another, and slowly the great tower crumbled. By the 15th century, it was gone. Today, the citadel of Qaitbay stands where the lighthouse once ruled the waves, like a quiet echo of its glory. We may not see it anymore, but in our hearts and in our stories, it still shines.
This is the Nile Delta, and this is where Egypt truly breathes. When the Nile reaches the north, it spreads its arms wide, like it's embracing the land, creating a triangle of green in the middle of golden desert. We call it our breadbasket because this is where the soil is richest, the farms are busiest, and the jasmine smells sweetest. From Rosetta to Damietta, the delta is full of life. Villages, cities, canals, and fields that have fed us for thousands of years. It's not just geography, it's our home, our heritage. And when the sun sets over the water and the birds fly low, you feel it. You're standing in the heart of Egypt. Welcome to Cairo, our beating heart, our city that never sleeps. You want to know Cairo? It's chaos and charm, history and hustle, all rolled into one. We've got the Nile flowing through us like a lifeline, the pyramids just a breath away, and minarets rising like prayers into the sky. From the old alleys of Khan el-Khalili to the buzzing streets of downtown, Cairo is full of stories. Some ancient, some happening right now. We complain about the traffic, sure, but we wouldn't trade it for anything. Because Cairo isn't just where we live, it's who we are.
500.
This is our needle in the sky, the Cairo Tower. Standing tall on Jazeera Island, right in the middle of the Nile, it's like Cairo's way of saying, look how far we've come. Built in the 1960s by our own architect, Naum Shabib, it's shaped like a lotus flower. Because we don't just build towers, we build symbols. From the top, you can see the whole city, the Nile winding like a ribbon, the pyramids in the distance, and the madness of Cairo traffic below. Don't look down if you're easily stressed. There is even a revolving restaurant up there. Yes, it spins while you eat, so you get a 360-degree view with your molokhaya. Al-Azhar Mosque is the heart of Islamic Cairo and the soul of our scholarship. Built in 970 by the Fatimid Caliphate, it's not just a mosque, it's a university, a beacon of learning that's been guiding minds for over 1,000 years. We call it Al-Azhar, meaning the most resplendent. Scholars from all over the world come here to study religion, law, and Arabic. And its influence stretches across continents. The architecture? A mix of styles from every era, Fatimid, Mamluk, Ottoman, all woven together like a tapestry of faith. When we Egyptians speak of Al-Azhar, we speak with reverence. The Egyptian Museum in Cairo. This place is our treasure chest. Right in the heart of Tahrir Square, it holds over 120,000 ancient artifacts, each one whispering stories from thousands of years ago. You walk in and boom, there's Tutankhamun's golden mask staring back at you like he knows all your secrets. Statues of Khufu, Khafre, and Menkaure stand proud, and the royal mummies, they're resting like they're still keeping an eye on the kingdom.
The building itself is a piece of history, designed by a French architect back in 1902. But to us Egyptians, it's more than bricks and relics. It's our soul on display. You don't just visit the museum, you feel it.
Maintain present heading and altitude, expect ILS runway. 23 center approach via Charlie.
The pyramids of Giza, built over 4,500 years ago, they stand just outside Cairo like giants watching over us. The Great Pyramid of Khufu, it was the tallest structure on earth for thousands of years. No cranes, no machines, just pure Egyptian genius. Then you have Khafre's pyramid, with the Sphinx guarding it like a silent lion, and Menkaure, smaller but still proud. We grew up hearing stories of hidden chambers, ancient curses, and treasures buried deep inside. Tourists come and stare, but for us it's personal. These pyramids are proof that Egypt doesn't just make history, we build it to last forever.
Let me tell you how our ancestors built the pyramids of Giza. They didn't have machines or fancy tech, just copper tools, strong hands, and minds sharper than chisels. We believe they carved millions of limestone blocks from nearby quarries, then dragged them across the desert using sledges and ramps. Yes, ramps, some straight, some zigzagging up the sides like giant staircases. And forget the myth about slaves. These were skilled workers, proud Egyptians, fed well and honored for their craft. The Great Pyramid of Khufu alone used over 2 million blocks, each weighing tons, placed with such precision that even today we scratch our heads in awe. It wasn't magic, it was mastery. Pyramid of Djoser is where it all began. Before the Great Pyramids of Giza, our ancestors built this masterpiece in Saqqara, and it was the first of its kind. Designed by Imhotep, a genius of his time, it was a revolution. Instead of one flat mastaba, he stacked 6 on top of each other, creating the world's first step pyramid. Built over 4,600 years ago for Pharaoh Djoser, it stood tall at over 60 meters, covered in gleaming white limestone that caught the sun like a beacon. When we walk through its complex today, with its courtyards and chapels, we feel the pride of a people who dare to dream in stone. Built by King Seneferu in Luxor, the Red Pyramid is like the quiet older brother of the pyramids at Giza. No flashy crowds, no tourist chaos, just the pure ancient elegance. It's called the red because the limestone turned a rusty color over time, but originally it was covered in smooth white casing stones that gleamed in the sun. This was Egypt's first true smooth-sided pyramid, after Seneferu learned a few lessons from the bent pyramid nearby. Let's just say that one had some architectural drama. The Red Pyramid is massive, peaceful, and you can even go inside. Just mind the steep tunnel and bring your courage. Bent pyramid. This one's got personality. Built by King Sneferu in Luxor, it's like Egypt's architectural experiment gone bold. They started with a steep angle, about 55 degrees. But halfway up, the builders said, wait, this might collapse. So they changed it to a gentler 43 degrees, giving it that famous bent look. Some say it was a mistake. Others say it was genius. Either way, it's still standing after 4,600 years, and that's no small feat. It's one of the few pyramids that still has its original casing stones, smooth and shining like it just rolled off the construction site. When we Egyptians look at it, we don't see a flaw. We see a lesson, a legacy, and a whole lot of pride.
Luxor is like a living museum with the Nile running through its heart. We call it the City of Palaces, and believe me, it earns the name. On the east bank, you've got the majestic Karnak and Luxor temples, where gods once walked and pharaohs carved their legacy in stone. Cross the river to the west bank, and you enter the land of the dead. Valley of the Kings, Valley of the Queens, tombs that still whisper secrets. Every sunrise here feels ancient, every sunset golden with memory.
The Valley of the Kings is where Egypt hides its greatest secrets. Nestled in the cliffs west of Luxor, it's a sacred vault carved into the earth by our ancestors. For nearly 500 years, pharaohs of the New Kingdom chose this quiet valley to rest, away from the chaos, under the shadow of a natural pyramid-shaped mountain. No flashy pyramids here, just deep tombs filled with gold, magic spells, and dreams of the afterlife. This is where eternity begins.
Stop. 500.
Let me tell you about one of our most famous pharaohs, Tutankhamun, the boy king who sleeps in the Valley of the Kings. He became pharaoh at just 9 years old, and though his reign was short, his tomb made him a legend. When Howard Carter found it in 1922, it was like Egypt whispered back to the world, "You thought we were done? Think again." Gold everywhere, his mask, his throne, even sandals with enemies painted on the soles. And unlike many others, his mummy still rests in his tomb, KV 62, right there in the valley.
Aswan. This is our southern jewel. It's where Egypt slows down, the Nile widens, and the sun kisses everything golden. We call it the gateway to Nubia. And you feel that warmth the moment you arrive. The people here, kind, proud, and full of stories. You'll see feluccas gliding on the river,
ancient temples rising from islands, and the mighty Aswan High Dam holding back Lake Nasser like a sleeping giant. Aswan is where history whispers, the breeze sings, and time takes a deep breath. Al-Aswan Dam is our wall of power, the giant that tamed the mighty Nile. Before it was built, the river flooded every year, sometimes a blessing, sometimes a disaster. But in the 1960s, under President Nasser, we built the high dam to control those floods, store water, and light up Egypt with electricity. It created Lake Nasser, one of the biggest man-made lakes in the world, stretching all the way into Sudan. This dam changed our future. It gave us water when the skies forgot to rain, and energy to build, grow, and dream. Let me introduce you to Ramses II. We call him Ramses the Great, and trust me, he earned that name. He ruled for over 60 years, longer than most pharaohs, and left his mark everywhere, from colossal statues to temples that still make jaws drop. Abu Simbel, that's his. The Ramesseum in Luxor, also his. He fought battles, signed the world's first known peace treaty, and had so many children we joke he needed a separate census. Egyptians see him not just as a king, but as a legend, a man who turned stone into story and ruled with the kind of confidence that still echoes through our land. Abu Simbel is a statement carved in stone. Way down in the south, near the border with Sudan, our great pharaoh Ramses II built two colossal temples to show the world Egypt's power and glory. The great temple has 4 giant statues of Ramses himself, sitting like gods watching over the Nile, and the smaller one is for his queen, Nefertari. Her statues are the same size as his, which tells you how much he loved her. And get this, when the Aswan High Dam threatened to flood the whole site, we moved the temples. Yes, moved them, block by block, like a giant puzzle, to save them. Abu Simbel is alive with pride, love, and pure Egyptian determination. What a journey you've flown, like a falcon tracing the lifeline of Egypt from the Mediterranean to the Nubian border. You started in Alexandria, where the sea meets history,
and the breeze carries whispers of philosophers and queens. Then came Cairo, our bustling heart, where ancient mosques and modern chaos dance side by side. Just beyond, Giza greeted you with pyramids that defy time, standing proud like kings who never left. From there, you soared to Luxor, the open-air museum of the gods, where every column and tomb tells a story carved in eternity. Then came Aswan, calm and golden, with Nubian soul and the mighty dam that holds back a lake as vast as dreams. And finally, Abu Simbel, where Ramses II carved his legacy into the cliffs, and the sun still aligns with the gods like clockwork from another world. As we land, we look back at the Nile, that winding ribbon of life, memory, and magic. It's our story, and you've just read it from beginning to end. We Egyptians say, who drinks from the Nile always returns. So don't say goodbye, say ma'a salama, and know that Egypt will always be waiting.